I think to most of us using it, we felt like, couldn't you guys have tested this out? Like, do we really have to go through this madness of trying to figure out how to get on to something that looks like you've got major VCs behind, and that they would demand some certain level of readiness of a platform being launched? So I think there's a general consensus of this mystery that maybe that was intentional to get people just talking about it, or what's your view on it?
Yeah, well, I think there's some element of lean startup mindset of getting in front of users as quickly as possible. I think the because it's decentralized, like a lot of the maybe not all the backend primitives will be defined by the community, but how it gets used certainly will, and that will impact some of the roadmap. So I think that was critical, and it's much different saying, a social network doesn't really work when you have 100 beta users who you pay to try out. It works a lot better when you have a couple thousand or tens of thousands of people who are working together. So I think there was some thought, and I wouldn't, the haste piece, perhaps it appears that way, but there's been a lot of thinking, a lot of brain power that's gone into the planning of this. It's been this isn't something that was dreamt up overnight and put into production a month later. But I think the element of getting, there's also a philosophical angle here too, which is if you put something out polished that looks like it's been built by some, monolithic entity in the background that has some CEO and board of directors and VCs, that's part of some of the criticism too. Like this is a VC fest. I think if anything, it was more just us showing support and trying to be helpful, as opposed to, it's like this. You don't want to have this sort of mindset that there's this this Illuminati that controls the platform. It should be and is moving in a direction of being really community powered. I think that encourages a much, you started this podcast. No one gave you permission. No one said you could or couldn't do it. You had the forthright to do that. And you were seeing a lot of people just kind of innovate and build on top of this. I think when you know that, there are no gatekeepers, it encourages a different mindset of empowerment.